Hello and welcome to the Confident Musicianing Podcast. My name is Eleanor and I am a British American oboist studying at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, literally my dream school. And it took me a long way to get there. I applied and auditioned for 12 schools in 3 different countries. It was a lot of hard work, but oh my gosh, so worth it. I want you to have the confidence to work hard in achieving your goals. So come with me as we go on this journey together. So sit down, pull up a chair, take a seat, or if you're on the go, welcome to the Confident Musicianing Podcast. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Confident Musicianing Podcast. I'm really glad you're here. It is for me at least, it is a lovely, quiet Sunday morning. Sunday mornings in the city tend to be quieter than other times of the week, and I tend to record the podcast on a Sunday because it is the quietest day of the week, but I feel like this Sunday morning is particularly quite magical. I don't know, it just feels really lovely. The city is quiet. You'll hear like the occasional car or maybe someone walking or something like that, like talking or whatever, but it is just a really lovely time of the week and time of Sunday. And so I am recording this episode now, partially because if I recorded it during the week, it would be a nightmare to get all of the background sounds out, but also because it is just a lovely part of the week and a really kind of slow part of the week where I can just spend this time with you. So I'm really glad that you decided to hang out with me today. Today we're going to be talking about something that I find really interesting, and I hope you do too, because we are going to be talking about dressing for success and why clothes matter in an audition or a performance, because they do. When I was auditioning for 12 music schools in 3 different countries, when I was kind of, figuring out where I wanted to study music, I always wore the same kind of things in the auditions. And I never wore those things unless I was auditioning and performing. I wore like black concert dress. In every audition, I wore the same thing. I mean, I think there were like small variations, but it was all black concert dress. I did my hair in like one of 2 hairstyles. And those were like very specific, like concerty things. Now I do my hair like that all the time, but like it's, it was very, for me, like specific for performing and auditioning. And I didn't realize that this was so important in the kind of mindset of the audition until after I got into the music schools that I got into. I was going to the opera. I was going to the opera to watch an opera, and I had nothing to wear. Like, all of my nice clothes were like in the wash, or they were dirty. And all I really had to wear that was appropriate for the opera was concert black. And I thought, okay, whatever, I'll just put this on and wear it. And it was so weird because as soon as I put it on, my brain went into audition mode. It like immediately, I feel like my heart rate changed. I got a little kind of not nervous, but just focused. And my brain was immediately thinking, okay, what do we have? What is this audition for? What are we playing? When are we playing it? What do we need to do beforehand? Where do we need to be? Blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden my brain was in audition mode, and it was thinking of all of the things that I needed to think of when I was doing an audition or a performance. And I realized I cannot wear these clothes to the opera, because the opera is, something I just want to enjoy. Like, I'm not even in the opera, I just want to watch it. And I had to find something else, because those clothes were kind of like my audition uniform almost. Like, when I put them on, my brain was ready for an audition, to the point where, I was like, this is not a good outfit for the opera because this is my audition outfit. So today we're going to dive more into kind of how I dress for auditions and how I use clothes to help me, and how you can use clothes to help you as well. Well, whether you dress professionally for an audition, like, concert black or whatever, or maybe you dress with more colors, or, whatever you do, I hope that this episode can be helpful to be more mindful in using clothes to not only send a message to the panel or the audience, but also to help you in your performing and auditioning. So let's get right in. The first thing is clothes send a message. Clothes send a message, full stop, not just with audition context. If you dress a certain way, you might be signaling to other people that maybe you are part of a specific group, or maybe you are part of, I don't know, like whatever. I feel like the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland is right next to the Glasgow School of Art, and art students dress in a very specific way. I feel like there's a lot of creativity in the way they dress, and I think there is kind of that, and I love, I feel like where like the music school and the art school are, people dress in such really cool ways, but some people at the conservatoire rock up in a suit, just go to lectures in a suit, and they are sending a message, versus someone who might rock up in sweats or in other things. They are sending different messages. So in no matter what context, for instance, okay, the dancers, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland has a ballet program, and you can always tell the dancers, partially because they walk very elegantly. I feel like you can always tell a ballet dancer or a ballerina from how they walk, but also their hair is in a bun. You see bobby pins, you see hairspray, you see, I feel like ballet dancers and ballerinas have specific sweats that they wear. I don't know, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I can tell when someone is a ballet dancer. But they have specific outfits and things like that. And you can tell, they are signaling a message. I am going to dance class or whatever. And so clothes send a message in everyday life. If you see someone in a construction outfit, that they're probably a construction person. If you see someone in a work uniform, then anyway, the gist is that clothes send a message. And clothes also send a message when it comes to auditioning and performing. If you want to be taken seriously in an audition, dress seriously. I remember when I was auditioning for music school, I had to send in a lot of audition tapes. That was the first round audition tapes. And my the collaborative pianist that I was working with, she was talking about clothes, and she was like, I've done auditions where someone might rock up in jeans, and she was like, that's not appropriate for a really professional audition, or even a music school audition, which is also a professional audition. You have to look professional. And, it is really important. So if you want to be taken seriously in an audition or in a performance, then, wear professional looking clothes, wear that concert black. Even if you, maybe other people aren't, send a message with your clothes. How do you want to be perceived? Dress how you want to be perceived, right? I remember, I did a recital once, and it was a Halloween recital. I was asked to perform in it, and because it was a Halloween recital, I showed up in a pirate outfit and performed the Mozart Oboe Concerto in a pirate outfit. I would never wear that outfit for a concert that's not to do with Halloween, or an audition. But that's the context. So context is really important. And, if you want to be taken seriously, dress seriously. It is sending a message, even if you might not think it is. It is. So there's that, right? Clothing sends a message. You dress the way you want to be perceived. But clothes can also help in an audition, and this is something that I find really fascinating. So, in the moment of an audition, if I dress professionally, if I dress with concert black, I'm gonna take myself more seriously, and it helps with my confidence. It's really strange. But I mean, like the opera incident where I, was dressing for the opera and put on concert black, and all of a sudden my brain was like, what audition are we doing? And I couldn't focus on having, just like relaxing because my brain was focusing on something. That also ties in with this, because I had attached a mindset and a feeling to those clothes. And so I think kind of how to do this is pick out an outfit, or pick out, a wardrobe of whatever you want, of like serious clothes. So for me, that's concert black. And only wear those clothes for an audition or for a performance. And you can, for me, like I wear them like on either auditions or performances. I don't have specific audition clothes and specific performance clothes. But I have, audition/performance clothes. And I do not wear those clothes just casually, right? I do not. I wear those clothes for auditions, for performances. And for me, that's really important, because my brain from that has kind of put connotations around those clothes, right? When I see those clothes, I think audition or performance. When I wear those clothes, my brain immediately just kind of goes into a mode of like, okay, let's do this. And it's not a fear. It's not like, oh my gosh, we have an audition. It's like a confidence. It's like this is my outfit for, sharing my oboe with people. And that's really important. And I did not realize how important that was until I put those clothes on to go to the opera. And my brain was like, what audition do we have? And really focused on that. I think it's interesting because I think musicians are a lot like athletes. We have a very physical task to do. It might not look physical to someone who's not a musician. For me, I play the oboe, and it might just look like I'm, blowing through a thing of wood and making noise. But oboe is a really physical thing, right? There's breath control, there's stamina, all of this stuff. Singing, very physical, stringed instruments, very physical, percussion, physical, like it is all a physical thing. And it is a stamina thing, isn't it? And it's like, can I get through the piece type idea? And for me, it is quite an athletic thing. I feel like in my training before a performance or an audition, I will purposely get my heart rate up and then play my repertoire, so that when I'm nervous and my heart rate is already up, that helps me. It is physical. And so we are like athletes. And what do athletes do, right? A professional swimmer, they have a swimming outfit. Professional figure skater, they have a skating outfit. Professional football player, they have a football outfit, right? They have their outfits, and you don't just see a professional swimmer, going and doing their shopping in their swimming costume. Like you don't. They have specific outfits for their sport, and we have specific outfits for ours as well. It's not that I don't perform in everyday clothes or something like that. I recently went to Edinburgh to do a workshop with some students, and I did a small performance, and I wore my clothes, my everyday clothes, because it was an informal event. Now, my everyday clothes were all black, but to me, they were my everyday clothes. But it was, because it was an informal event with students. But when I have things like auditions and, performances that are professional, then in that case, I make sure that I dress professionally. So, all that being said, clothing really matters. It can help with auditions. It can help get you in the right mindset. A swimmer, when they put their swimming costume on, what are they thinking about? They're thinking about swimming, right? and a musician, when they put their concert black on, or whatever clothes it is, they're thinking about the concert, the audition, whatever that they are doing. And that really has helped me get into the right mindset for things. So I highly recommend it. If you haven't tried it, it is really strange. And I'd love to know the science behind it and the reasoning behind it. But creating connotations with clothing to help in auditions is something that I didn't realize I was doing, but it has really helped me. So I highly recommend it. That you try it, because it is weird, but it is a fun weird. Yeah. Before we do our recap, I want to share with you a tool that's really helped me in my practice to prepare for performances and auditions. It is not clothes, although clothes have definitely helped me, but it is planning my practice. And when I do plan my practice, it has helped me create more effective and focused practice sessions. And so one way that I plan my practice is with a notable practice journal. Using a notable practice journal, I can not only plan my practice, but also reflect. And reflecting, I think, is so important as well, because reflection means that I can look back at my session and write the things that went well, what didn't go well, so that the next session I can look back at the reflection and make sure that next session is based on the reflections and, can get better and better and better. So instead of every session, I just start from okay, I guess I'll do this. It's okay, what in my last session, what did I want to focus on in the next one? What was, what is the kind of arc of my practice and my focus? And that has really helped me. As soon as I realized that this notable practice journal was helping me, I knew that I needed to tell you about it and give you a code. So use code Eleanor15 for 15% off your journal and have more kind of effective practice sessions, and plan those sessions. It can really help. I only recommend things that I absolutely love. This code is an affiliate code, which means I do receive a commission with no extra cost to you. The code, which is Eleanor15, ELEANOR15 for 15% off, will be in the description in the show notes, as well as the link to the site where you can get your journal. All right, let's do a wee recap. Basically, clothes send a message. If you want to be taken seriously in an audition or a performance, dress seriously. If it is a casual thing, then maybe dress casual. But most auditions, dress seriously. And dress the way you want to be perceived. Also, clothes can help in an audition or a performance. If you isolate specific clothes that you only wear for auditions and performances, then this is from my experience, it can really help, because then when you wear it, your brain's okay, what are we doing? And it's kind of more focused. That has really helped me in auditions to play better and to be more focused. So that is about it for this episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm really grateful, and I'm really happy you did. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please do follow, comment, share this episode with anyone who you think might benefit from it. I do make these episodes with so much joy and with a genuine want to help you along your musical journey. So if you think this episode will be helpful for someone else, please do share it with them. And I will see you in the next episode. All right, take care. Bye-bye.